All right, this is Tuesday's trading and like my third day of real trading. Well, actually, second day this week. I technically started on Friday, but then I lost everything on Monday. And so today I'm kind of starting at round zero and trying to make about $34 a day. That's all I'm trying to aim for in order to get my 38% this month. And you can see my dollar amounts up here in the upper corner. And as I trade, I'm hoping that will go up. But also remember, each trade that I make costs about about $5.30 or 40 cents, something like that. So in order to make a profit, I actually have to move. I have to get a movement that is at least 1 point. Actually, just like a little bit more than 1 point, which is like $1 over here. So what are we seeing over here is the question. We're looking at the 4-hour chart, and I redrew the channel here. Kind of meets the bottom and it meets the top, and it's above that right now, which is a little concerning. It actually broke above that 180-day SMA on the 4-hour chart, and I keep expecting it to turn over and drop. I'm really thinking we're getting close to that, and you can see that on the MACD and on the RSI. But it's pretty much only on the 4-hour chart that it's that clear. I mean, it's high on the RSI on the 1-hour chart, but it's not showing a lot of signs on the MACD or the candles. We're pretty much just going straight up right now. Haven't really shown definite signs of it dropping. So I'm a little cautious in getting into position. Kind of like to do a short just because I think that's where it's going, but not sure that that's the best thing to do right now. Just not really sure. So I zoomed in on the 4-hour chart here, and I drew in some more resistance levels. You can see the red one up here, and it meets the top of the body of these candles over here, and the peak of this wick close to the body here. And it could have been a little bit lower maybe, but you kind of got to get an average in your head of where it's going to go. And then this one here, you can see I drew in the gray line here as a possible resistance level. So those are all places that we might be heading to before it drops. I also went ahead and did a Fibonacci line, and it was really tricky to draw it this time. I don't know why. I guess I tend to want to draw on every single peak, and this time it just wasn't working. So I had to draw it. I had to skip a couple peaks here and a peak here or a trough here. And so I drew more of a long-term Fibonacci line. And this one actually works out really, really well. You can kind of see the 78.6% line. The dark strips right here, those are the day trading, and then the lighter colored strips are the after hours or nighttime trading. And so you can see that it started the last 3 days. It started right at that Fibonacci line, and then either it maintained throughout the day or the nighttime, I guess it was. Okay, well, it ended at the Fibonacci line, I'm sorry. But it was like, it was a point at which it either bounced or maintained that level on the Fibonacci line pretty consistently. So because I see so many places where it actually matches my Fibonacci line, I think this one works pretty well. So now this lays out the 100% line right up here, kind of in the middle. Here's one of those price lines that I drew. Here's another price line that I had before. And so it's very, very possible that it will get up to that point today and then it will drop. So that's something to consider as well. Okay. So I see that the MACD is showing that it's going to drop and it's uptrending. So I'm trading against the trend, but I'm going to try to do a short here and maybe probably a short-term short. And again, it decided to bounce up. So I'm in a loss position here, kind of waiting for it to drop back down before I get out or reverse. Okay, so here it dropped down, showed like it might be bouncing off of that orange SMA, which is the 20 SMA here. And it's just showing signs of the MACD maybe turning a little. So I went ahead and did a reverse at this point. Decided the long was just not a good idea. So I lost money on that first trade of to the tune of like $11.25 or so plus commission. So $15 on the first trade I lost. Not a big deal. It's pretty easy to make it up, but it is unfortunate. Okay, so now I'm in a long position and it looks like it's maybe going to drop a little bit further. Nope, then it bounced up, so that was good. Trying to be wise as to where I think it's going to go. Remember I said the 100% line was kind of a decent goal, but that's at like 225, so that's a long ways up there. Actually longer than you might think. I just don't have the screen stretched out today. But it does look like the MACD is tipping up, so I'm trying to get as much out of it as I can, and then it dropped back down again. So I'm back to square one there. And it actually dropped below where I got in, and I'm still hanging on. So, and it's also really, really slow this morning. It is like almost 10 o'clock already at this point, and so it just has not moved hardly at all. You can kind of see I usually start trading around 8:30, which is right about here, and that's all the movement that we've had for the last hour and a half. It's very unusual, very slow, just really slow market right now. So anyway, it dropped back down. I'm still hanging on to a long. I'm still thinking it probably will get up to that point. But it's not looking like it wants to go up again. Unfortunately, now it's dropped below that green line there, which is kind of a support. Came back up again. All right, and the MACD is turning, so that's hopeful. Okay, just trying to be positive here. Okay, now I'm back up to where I actually got in. I'm hoping it will continue to go up now. And I decided that it was going to hit this level here and possibly drop and not get up to the 100% line. So I did a reverse. So this is a small profit right here, and it's going to get into a short. So that's exactly what happened. So that was a positive trade, but it wasn't as big as the first trade of a loss that I made. So I'm still in a loss position here, and I've made 2 trades, and now I'm in a third. So my commissions are like $11 out of that. So you've got to add that to the loss that I have as well. Okay, so this is looking good. It's dropping. And that was a pretty good drop. The MACD is just now turning, so it's possible it will drop more. Kind of hoping it would drop even down to this point right here. But that's a pretty big drop. Okay, and it's threatening to go up again. And then it came back down and bounced. So I raised up my limit order to this point here, which was at 11.25. And then I raised it to 13.50. And it got executed there. So that was a nice trade right there. And I'm sitting at $12.50 profit minus about, let's see, well, 3 times 550. So minus 1650. So I'm still at a loss, and you can actually see that over here. This is what I started off with. This is the dollar amount I started off with. This is where I am right now. So I'm still lower than where I started, unfortunately, but it's not like a huge deal. Just having trouble getting traction this morning. And it's 10:30 right now, so it's like super slow again. So I got into a long position there in that last frame, and I think it's going to get up to this point. Okay, and it did. So I'm going to get out here. And now I've gotten $4 in profit. I've made 4 trades. So this is a little bit discouraging. And it is almost 11. It's 10:51 at this point. Okay, and it looks like I could have hung on to that point. I really think that it's probably going to get up to that point, but I decided to get out before it got there. And now it goes shooting up. So it got really, really close to that 100% line. Really close. It's just like 2 ticks or 2 points away from that. So that might be as close as it gets. I'm not sure. It does look like it's going to drop at this point. MACD is looking like it's going to drop. So I went ahead and did a short position here. And I put in my exit order down here, which was kind of the support level that it had formed right through here, and just seemed like a pretty reasonable place to get to. And it's also kind of the halfway point between the SMA and the current candles. So I think it probably will meet around that point eventually. But it is time for me to go at this point, and it's 11:10, and I had a decision to make. I felt like it was pretty certain to drop at least that far, and I was going to be really happy with my trading if it did. So I decided to walk away and leave my order in and just kind of watch it on my phone as I went throughout my day. I actually had to go to work. So I did something that I have said that I'm not going to do, but I was trying to analyze the information, pretty certain that that was going to happen. So I felt like it wasn't a huge, big risk. I did set up my alerts so that it will trigger those and tell me what's going on. And I can see that on my phone. It's easier to watch the price action at that point. Doing that. I watched it as long as I possibly could. It's 11:33 here. And still has not dropped, but it does look like it probably will. So kept taking screenshots here and watching it. I was really waiting for it to like break through that gold SMA there. If it did that, and it almost did right there, but if it actually forms the body of the candle below that point, then I will be really happy. All right, so during the rest of the day, it actually went back up again. It actually surpassed the 100% line before it dropped. And sure enough, my order got executed right there. That was where my exit order was. And then it continued to drop from there. So I actually made the dollar amount that I was looking for, and I ended the day at a profit of $40.05. So I was happy, and it was a little bit of a risk, but I think it all panned out. So you can see the trades that I made here. The ones that are highlighted are my trades. So I made 5 trades, and 4 out of the 5 were positive. The last one was a really good size. So anyway, there you go.